Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into the Putback podcast with Tyler and Cole. Now, before we get things started today, I want to make sure you check out our social medias, which is Instagram and Twitter. On Twitter, we are Podcast Putback, and Instagram, we're Putback Podcast. You can find those linked in the description below on any of the platforms. So, what do we got going on today, T?
So, obviously, we got our stat lines, got some topics, and then we got our predictions for the rest of the semi-conference semifinals, conference, whatever we're at in the playoffs.
The round we're in.
Yes. And then we got actually a couple of cool topics that I want to talk about. One that I'm personally excited about. I'm sure you know that. But let's hop right into stat lines first. Game 3, Heat, Miami, Sicily, 1942.
That is where the Heat are located.
They're located in Sicily in 1942?
No,
that'd be impressive. Jimmy Butler, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Now, I said last week that Jimmy Butler's going to smoke the Bucks. Did I not?
You did.
And here he is, whooping ass.
The Bucks don't know what hit him, to be honest.
Jimmy Butler, pow, 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 pow. And he do it again.
So in Game 3, Kyle Lowry dropped 31, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists.
That's impressive, because I think that, if I remember correctly, the Celtics came out to a 2-0 start.
Yeah, they did.
So the Raptors are fighting to get back into it.
You know who had a 2-0 start on the Raptors last year? The Bucks. You know how that worked out for them?
Kawhi.
Raptors in 6. I don't think the Raptors are going in 6. I think it's going to be a 7-game series, I think. What do you think?
I think the Celtics going to win in 7, no offense. Giannis, Game 2, 29 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, and none of it mattered because the Heat whipped his ass.
No, it did not matter.
Chris Middleton had like 22 that game too.
So Chris Middleton's trying to play, he's like, hey Giannis, I got you, and it's not working.
No. Real quick, before we get into the next 3 stat lines, these are all from the same game. There are so few games, and a lot of people are performing very mediocrely. Is that a word? Very mediocre. So it's hard to find good stat lines. So I pardon the next 3 here.
So in Game 1 of the Los Angeles Lakers and Houston Rockets series, James Harden dropped 36 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. What did his Robin Westbrook do?
24 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. 6-foot 3-point guard grabbing rebounds. It's Kyle Lowry version 2.0. Just saying.
Then AD went off for 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 1 assist. But they still lost.
Yeah, so with that game, the Lakers actually won 112-97. Yeah, they got beat by 15 points.
And what's LeBron at?
20 points.
20 points?
20 points. And I think Danny Green had 10, so he stopped airballing everything, which is impressive. So, this is a quick side note before we get into the topics. I saw a video on TikTok, which, yeah, I get it, whatever. Somebody broke down how much Danny Green gets paid per shot.
Somebody's got a lot of time on their hands.
Well, he makes $15 million a year.
Okay.
And he gets paid $30,000 to shoot. That's what it broke down to. With the amount of shots he's taken in the NBA this year, he's getting paid. And obviously this doesn't go forward to the next game because the number keeps decreasing the more shots he takes. But at the time of that video, he got paid $30,000 per shot. And he airballed for $30,000.
He airballed.
Bro, you need to at least hit rim if I'm paying $30,000.
I could airball for $30,000,
right?
Man.
That's 75% of my yearly salary. Are you kidding me? I would at least hit rim.
For 1 shot, man.
I would hit rim for $10,000. Come on now. It's ridiculous. Let's move into some topics. My favorite one. So the Heat for another sweep.
It might be a sweep.
I'm thinking it's going to be a sweep. Bam Adebayo had a nasty double-double, 20 points, 14 rebounds, something like that. Goran Dragic is scoring like 20 a game. Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson are lighting the 3-point lineup. And then Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's actually being Jimmy Butler this series.
Yeah, he's not 76er choking Jimmy Butler.
What the fuck, dude?
All good, bro.
Anyway, Where were we?
I did the first topic.
All right, and by the time you guys are listening to this, the series might be over. I don't know when we're uploading this.
This is going to go up Monday because the only series that could possibly be over is the Heat versus the Bucks, and I think the Heat are going to sweep the Bucks. So by the time you guys are listening to this, Tyler said it. He predicted the future because we're recording this at 10:45 on Sunday,
Eastern Standard
Time. I am predicting that the Heat sweep the Bucks 4-0.
Yeah, at the very worst, I see a 5-game series.
I have a lot of faith in Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe and Robin and the Lopez brothers.
Oh, right. Isn't Giannis going to be out tonight? Isn't it a possibility?
He's questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable.
So he's not going to sit out. Ex-MVP, he's not going to sit out for a game in the playoffs. Come on now.
Yeah, so you got 50% of Giannis and
20% of a good rec league team.
So, next up, why don't you take this one? This is yours.
Steve Nash, one of the best point guards to ever pick up a basketball, has signed with the Nets as a new head coach, which makes me so happy. So Steve Nash and KD worked together when KD was on the Warriors.
Yep, Golden State.
Kyrie still needs to be traded, but maybe Steve Nash can fix him and show him that the earth is round. But Steve Nash is one of the best pick and roll players, and seeing as how we have Jared Allen, we got some good big guys. Kevin Durant's legitimately probably 7 foot. You're going to be able to run the pick and roll, and Kyrie should get a chance to learn a lot from Steve Nash. And keep in mind, for those of you guys that are a little bit of a younger age, and you specifically, because I know you didn't watch basketball back then, Steve Nash and Amar'e Stoudemire were a phenomenal duo. Back in the early 2000s on the Phoenix Suns. They ran what was called the 7 seconds or less offense.
That's a quick offense.
Right, so they had a shot up before most of the time at like the 17-second shot clock mark.
That's a fucking quick shot.
And they were successful for years. So if they implement that, speed of KD, speed of Kyrie, maybe Kyrie lightens up on the amount of dribbles he takes. But even if they run that, and so their plan was if they couldn't get a good shot off in 7 seconds, they dumped it to Amar'e Stoudemire in the post. Now we have KD and Kyrie to take last second shots if we need them to. There's more options than Nash.
Preferably KD.
Preferably KD. Now there's more options than what Nash had on that Suns team. So I think he could really benefit if he decides to put the 7 seconds or less offense on the Nets. I think it could benefit us severely.
If this doesn't work, I don't know what else you guys could possibly do. You have a coach that worked with. You have a coach that worked with Steve Kerr.
Right, one of the best.
You
coaches.
have KD, who's won how many championships? 2?
3. I want to say 3. 2016 or no? Oh well, I think
he went to 3. What year did he get traded?
He didn't get traded. He signed. He got signed after the 2015-2016 season when the Warriors won their first title.
So he was there for the 17,
He's won 2 rings.
16. Okay, yeah. Because
Stephanie has 3.
LeBron beat him the 1 year.
Yeah,
and the Raptors beat him another year.
Yeah, Steph only has 3 rings, so KD was there for 1 less ring than what Steph has.
All right.
And Draymond Green has 3 rings too.
And KD's a monster. Kyrie is Kyrie's a Kyrie. He won a couple championships with LeBron.
Just one.
Right? Just one.
Yep.
And then he was
the year they beat Golden State. He was pretty good on this.
Didn't they win one in Miami?
Kyrie didn't play in Miami.
Who am I thinking of?
LeBron. Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade. Why am I thinking?
Kyrie got drafted the year after LeBron left for Miami because Kyrie was so good and he was so high in the draft stock. Cleveland had to be that bad to be able to get him, and the only reason that happened was LeBron left. Yeah, he got drafted in 2012, which was in the middle of the Miami Heat run.
Okay, yeah. I don't know why I was thinking of Dwayne Wade.
I couldn't tell you if I tried.
All right, so Rockets beat the Lakers in Game 1. And PJ Tucker guarded both LeBron and AD. Did you know PJ Tucker had that in him?
I didn't, and I read an article, combined inches lost to these two. LeBron's 6'8", LeBron's 6'9", and AD's 6'10", or whatever this is at. The article stated that PJ Tucker has a combined loss of 9 inches compared to both of them. At 6'5", LeBron's 6'8", 6'9", whatever he is, and then Anthony Davis is 6'10", 6'9".
Wow.
And I saw a clip where LeBron just threw up a reverse, like behind, the rim was behind him, he threw up a layup because he couldn't get PJ Tucker down in the paint. Brick wall. PJ Tucker, 6'5", 245 pounds, 10 years into his NBA career. He's got some muscle on him.
Whatever works, man. Hopefully he can do it again for another few games. Maybe the Rockets have a chance.
Well, he only got 6 points, but he had 9 rebounds, which is impressive. Because even though you can guard these guys all day, truthfully, if he can shut down AD, and AD had 25 that game, LeBron had 20. So guarding both of them, and obviously you can't guard 2 people at one time.
Oh, yeah.
But there's one thing that he's going to have a struggle with regardless, and he's doing pretty well with it, having 9 rebounds as a 6'5" center, is rebounding. You need to be able to have the strength to box these guys out, which is going to put you in an adverse position to get the rebound. That's why Russell Westbrook needs to help. That's why James Harden needs to have more than 2 rebounds going forward.
Yeah.
Because if you box AD as the block, you're not moving. Because if the second he starts swarming around, you need to be on him 100%. You don't have the opportunity to chase a rebound.
No.
So you need your other guys to step in. I think they have Rocco, Robert Covington. They need James Harden to step up. They need Eric Gordon to step up. Russell Westbrook to step up all to grab some rebounds.
As long as Westbrook and Harden can keep their foot on the gas, I think they definitely have a shot at taking the series. As long as neither of them gets hurt, because Damian Lillard got hurt last series after one game, and well,
broke my heart.
Yeah, they didn't fare too well after Lillard went out.
No, and it is what it is. As far as Harden and Russell Westbrook, though, they combined for 60 points the first game. So you're
That's
right.
not bad.
If they can keep their foot on the gas, they can definitely give AD and LeBron a run for the money because they outscored both the collective duos. Harden and Westbrook outscored them by 5. AD with 25 and LeBron with 20. Next, you wanna get this one?
If the Bucks lose, does Giannis leave, and where would he go? I feel like we've talked about this before.
We have, but now it's becoming so much more of a realization that it could happen.
I feel like he definitely could leave.
I don't know who said it, but I saw a video that's populating or circulating on Twitter. Somebody from the NBA crew, like NBA on TNT or First Look or whatever it was, said that they think Giannis is going to go to Golden State.
Didn't Draymond just get in trouble for tampering with that?
Yeah, but Clay's a nice, or not Clay. I think Steph's talking to Giannis. That's the whole thought process of that video, and nobody's gonna do anything.
That's tampering.
That's tampering, yeah. But not if you're just being friendly with him, like, hey man, good game. Oh, you lost by 20. That wouldn't happen if you were here.
Yeah, that's true.
Not like, hey, dude, I'll give you $10,000 to come over here and eat a croissant and sign a contract.
A croissant?
I don't know what Greek people eat. Yogurt? That was a bad joke. But think about that. The Warriors have such a high draft pick. Giannis is a free agent. Steph and Clay and Draymond are all going to be back next year. If they get James Wiseman, they have that big man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's 4 guaranteed All-Stars and 1 future All-Star.
The season before KD got to the Warriors, they won 73 games.
False. No, you're right. My bad. I thought they won 73 with KD.
No, they won 73 the year before KD.
73 and 9, and that's the year they lost the LeBron and the Cavs.
Yeah, because they were going 100% every game. Yeah. They were trying their arses off. And
Giannis has that motor.
And after KD got there, they didn't have to try as hard because they knew they were just going to win the majority of the games without a care in the world.
Right.
So I think it's going to be the same thing when Giannis gets there, especially after this season. They're going to have the 2nd overall pick. They could have Giannis. They're going to have Steph and Clay. Who's going to beat them?
Not a single soul.
Yeah, Giannis is a monster. I mean, who do you think's better, Giannis or KD?
In what regard?
Just as a basketball player.
KD.
KD? You'd rather have KD on your team than Giannis?
I would rather have KD just because he's more skilled than Giannis. Giannis needs to develop certain parts of his game, but he has the size, he has the strength, he has the speed. All those things are better than KD in my opinion. Giannis is legitimately 6'11". KD's probably 6'11" too, but he lies about it. But KD can shoot. And there's something to be said about a 6'11" small forward that can space the floor and shoot from half court if he wanted to. And KD's handle's a little bit better too. There's just a lot of pieces of KD's game that Giannis doesn't have. So for right now, I'd take KD. If Giannis decided to stop shooting from his earlobe and maybe shoot a normal jump shot, we'd be better off. But
do you think Giannis would play the 4 in Golden State?
That's a tough one. So if they draft James Wiseman, which I think they would, I think that they should, I think Giannis would play the 3 because he's originally a small forward. If you don't know that, he got drafted as a 3-4, a small forward, power forward. And he was also drafted at 6'9", and has since grown to be 7'3" with hair.
Does that include his hair?
The 7'3" part does. I think he'd play small forward because Draymond Green is so adept to playing the power forward. I think he just play that role, and Draymond can't. I mean, he can shoot, but he's very streaky. So I think he'd be down there with James Wiseman. And again, there's if Draymond and James Wiseman are down there, for a reference point, they're going to draft Wiseman. Giannis doesn't know a whole lot about being a center other than just being gigantic and having freakish athleticism.
Yeah.
Draymond does. So there's a lot that he can teach whatever big man they draft.
You know what I'd really like to see?
The Warriors not be a super team next year?
A one-on-one of Giannis versus 90 Shaq. That would be so entertaining.
Or drafted Shaq, 92, when he got to the Magic.
Yeah.
Because he used to run full court dribbling the ball. And it very much so looked like Giannis. Yeah. Have you ever seen clips of draft workouts for Shaq? Or 92 Orlando Magic Shaq?
I haven't, no.
When you get an opportunity, he runs the entire floor. He gained weight when he got to the Lakers. He gained weight, he gained muscle and everything. But when he was on the Magic, he was a lean, mean, dunking machine.
To be clear, while we're watching clips of 90 Shaq, I was born in 96. He was born in 97, so we don't really remember a lot.
No, I spent a lot of time looking at this stuff.
Yeah.
I used to learn Shaq's moves.
Speaking of Lakers, Shaq, what if Giannis goes to the Lakers?
LeBron's getting old.
Well,
I think if he needs to go anywhere to save somebody's body, like their physical body, they probably go to Lakers. LeBron needs a little bit of a break, load management.
Load management. I really don't want to see.
I don't know how that'd work though, because Anthony Davis is extremely against playing center. You remember how we had a conversation when the last year or earlier this year? I'm sorry, on the podcast where they have Anthony Davis, they have JaVale McGee, they have Dwight Howard, they have. Who's the other big dopey guy that they have? They have 3 centers and Anthony Davis. I forget who the third center is. I just can't remember his name. They have centers. Anthony Davis is extremely against playing center. Oh, they had DeMarcus Cousins, but he got released. He doesn't want to play center, so he's going to play the power forward, 100%, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to argue that all day.
Just put Giannis at small forward.
LeBron plays small forward.
Hasn't LeBron been playing point guard?
He's a point forward. He brings the ball up. But they still have Rondo on the floor. They still have Danny Green on the floor. They still have KCP on the floor.
Danny Green? If it's Giannis or Danny Green, I'm taking Giannis.
Well, I agree, but I'm just saying, position-wise, LeBron's still playing the 3.
Might be paying him a little less than $30,000 a shot.
I would. Paying him more, he'd be sitting on the bench not shooting. He needs to shoot. That's crazy to think that he's taken so many shots this year that it's dwindled down to 30,000.
Well, we did have a shortened season.
Right. Well, think about if he rode the bench instead of starting. How many less shots he would have taken, and how much more he'd be getting paid to miss.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I know some people down at Quality Hill that could probably match Danny Green in game, not in a shooting competition. Practice arenas are completely different. Right? There's definitely some people that can match him in shooting in game that I've hooped with that played high school basketball.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Or at least at the fucking rim.
Just. All right. Any other teams you think Giannis would go to?
It'd be scary if he went to the Rockets. That'd be terrifying.
He's not going to the Rockets.
But they'd still have PJ Tucker at center, so just...
You remember that Giannis and LeBron? You remember Giannis and James Harden want to rip each other's throats out, right?
That's because Giannis can't control where his balls go. Pause. Pause. On to predictions.
Wait, we weren't done with that topic.
I'm done with that topic. On to predictions. We got the Rockets versus Lakers current series. Rockets are up 1-0. Motherfucker. Rockets are up 1-0. Do they continue to go on a 4-game streak and sweep the Lakers, or
they're not sweeping the Lakers? There's no chance.
LeBron? There was a clip post on Instagram of LeBron looking very, very pissed off at the end of that game. So people are saying the Rockets done pissed LeBron off, and now we're gonna get playoff LeBron back. LeBron used to be playoff LeBron the whole time.
Rockets in 6.
Rockets in 6. I'm gonna say Rockets in 5. I don't think AD can bully PJ Tucker that bad, because PJ Tucker seems to be locking those two motherfuckers up. And I talked a lot of shit on PJ Tucker.
You did,
for being only an inch taller than me, but watching what he's doing. You know, PJ Tucker, this is a side note about his career, has never played guard. So the average height for a point guard in the NBA is 6'3". The average height for a shooting guard is 6'5.5". PJ Tucker 6'5". He has never once been a guard. He was drafted.
That's weird.
He was drafted at small forward, and then a couple years into his career was moved to power forward. But he has never once been a point guard or a shooting guard.
That's wild.
Right? Absolutely insane.
So if the Rockets make the Western Conference Final, do you think more teams try the small ball mentality?
No, and PJ Tucker, like I said, and this falls back on him not playing guard, coming and being a small forward, and then being a power forward shortly thereafter, has the mentality and has the energy, and he runs his mouth a lot on the court. Seriously. So I don't think there's a lot of people like that in the league that have that kind of drive. So I don't know that there's anybody that can really imitate that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And technically the first ones to do this was Golden State, running Draymond Green at the 5. But Draymond Green is 6'7".
All right, they just didn't call it small ball.
They did.
They called it small ball.
They called it small ball. Yeah.
I do not recall that. So Nuggets Clippers.
Nuggets Clippers currently tied 1-1.
1-1.
Jamal Murray crossed up Kawhi last night.
I think they played at night, but I'm not sure.
Crossed up Kawhi the other night? Whatever it was.
No. Clippers and Nuggets, I think they played at night.
No, I was saying how Jamal Murray crossed up Kawhi.
Yeah.
Did a nice step back. Well, so now they're in the second round, so they're allowed to bring one person to the game with them, and Jamal Murray's got his lady there with him, so now he's getting some puss.
Uh-oh.
He's not going for 50 anymore, but the 27 is looking real good. I think he got 27. He's looking pretty good out there. Getting a little before he gets to the game. What do you think? You got the Nuggets winning, you got the Clippers winning. Do you think Kawhi's got it in him to go?
Clippers in 6.
Clippers in 6. I'm going to say the same, actually. As much as I want the Nuggets to go on, Michael Porter Jr. coming off the bench isn't doing as good as he did when he got to the bubble. And then Jokic is seeming more and more lazy as the series go on. So I think Clippers in 6 is probably more realistic than the Nuggets winning in any amount of time.
Yeah, I really don't think the Nuggets have a chance.
No?
I'm willing to be proved wrong, because I really don't want to see an all-LA final.
So their loss, and the Clippers lost, Kawhi only had 13 points.
You're not supposed to load manage during the game, bro.
You shouldn't load manage during the playoffs, let alone a playoff game. But I don't remember what Paul George had. Maybe he's back to pandemic P. I actually don't remember what it looked like. But I gotta say Clippers in 6, because at some point Kawhi is gonna turn into the robot that he is, and
no more pandemic fun guy. You gotta turn into Kawhi Leonard, the 2-time champion.
I can't do his laugh.
Oh my god!
I wish I could do his laugh.
All right. So Clippers in 6. All right, Celtics Raptors.
Celtics.
It's
It's tied 2-2.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6.
I just don't think the Raptors are gonna. I mean, they just came back, so the Raptors are on a 2-0 win streak right now. I believe.
Yeah,
because they started the series.
A freaking buzzer beater from OG to win the third game.
Well, game 3, Kyle Lowry went for 31. So
Celtics in 7.
I got Celtics in 6. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
So wait, we're saying Clippers and Lakers, or I said Rockets.
I think I said Rockets.
So we're saying Clippers, Rockets, Western Conference Finals, and then the Heat versus the Bucks isn't going to be a conversation. I'm already on board with the Heat winning. I think the Heat are going to win. So
Heat in 5.
I'm saying Heat in 4. I think they shut the Bucks down tonight. So we got the Heat, Celtics, and then we got the Rockets, Clippers. I think this has changed considerably every week. I think the only team that we've actually thought was going to make it this far had to be. I've been riding the Heat the whole time, but I think the only consistent team between the two of us was the Clippers.
I think so.
Because we bounced from Rockets to Lakers, and now we're riding with the Rockets.
Well, I mean, we were going Mavericks pretty fucking hard against the Clippers, but I think that was just our heart talking and not our head.
That's true. So I don't think there's a team that we've actually said was going to make it this far 100% as a collective unit.
Yeah, I don't think so, man.
Because I've been riding the Heat. Outside of the Raptors being this far, and that's your team.
We're gonna have to go back to the prediction video we did way back before the shutdown.
The one about
and check that out and see how much different that
was
turned out.
That was like March, brother.
Yeah, that was March. I think it was March. It's either March or late February.
It wasn't late February, I don't think. It had to be March because that's when the season got shut down, March 21st.
I know we were at our old location. We weren't doing no Skype, so...
No. Whatever it was, we'll go back and watch it eventually.
Yeah. So we're going to have... Our predictions are... Rockets, Clippers, Celtics, Heat.
Rockets, Clippers. Who do you got winning? I think this is something we should do every week until the playoffs are over. You got Clippers? Clippers and what?
5.
Maybe
7. I don't know.
I'm going to say the Rockets.
It really depends on if it's playoff P or pandemic P.
That's true. I'm going to say the Rockets. The Lakers have legitimate big men, and PJ Tucker's doing a great job guarding them. The Clippers have a Ivica Zubac, who I don't know if you know, has only been in the league for like 2 or 3 years, and he's not bad. European players are very technically sound, very fundamentally sound, but he's not Anthony Davis. So I think PJ Tucker can beat up their center pretty good. And then their 2 guard right now, the Clippers shooting. Huh?
Oh, I thought we were moving to the next series.
Well, the Clippers shooting guard is Paul George versus James Harden, and then the Clippers point guard is who's their point guard? Why don't I remember their point guard? Pat Beverly, and Russell Westbrook. I honestly think could smoke Pat Beverly every day. So, I don't see them having. If Pandemic P is a real thing in that series. Yeah, you're right. And if Kawhi gets 13 points again and goes on in-game load management, I don't see it happening.
All right, so
now we got Heat Celtics, right?
Yeah.
Heat in 4.
Heat in 5.
I think Jimmy Butler's gonna go 12-0 until he gets to the finals. And then, with that said, if we're gonna say, I said Rockets and Heat, you said Clippers and Heat, right?
Yeah. So
we'll start with yours. Clippers, Heat. Who do you think wins?
Heat.
Heat and what?
Heat in 7.
I'm gonna say Heat in 7 too, but Heat versus the Rockets. I gotta say Heat in 7.
Get Jimmy Butler a championship.
He deserves it, and he's got such a good
76ers team. Fans are gonna cry if that happens.
Not their fault. 76ers had a shitty ass coach. They don't have a bad coach. That's a quick topic. They had a great coach for when Joel Embiid was the process. They don't have a great coach when they have so many all-stars on their team now.
Yeah.
They're still functioning around Joel Embiid when they need to function around good ball movement instead. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Putback Podcast. Again, our social medias are podcast Putback on Twitter, Putback Podcast on Instagram. If you guys are on any audio listening platform or on YouTube, they're linked down in the description below. Get at us. I'm on IG and Twitter, getting back at it. Whoever gets to us. There's been a couple comments on some of the videos. Oh, and on the Instagram, it's not just our podcast that we post about. I post about different clips, different things that are happening. Like I post about the Steve Nash thing before it even made it to podcast.
Yep.
So follow us there, get at us, subscribe, leave us a rating on whatever platform has ratings.
Preferably 5 stars.
Preferably 5 stars. I think we have 1 5-star, but it's me, so it doesn't really count for a whole lot. But drop us a rating. We really enjoy it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Peace.
I stay loose, I stay hype, I stay loose, I stay hype, I stay loose, I stay hype. I could do this all night, cause I do